G'day, g'day, gang. It's your old pal, Uncle Ghastly here. And I'm doing a thing. I'm going to be making these videos where I take a gummy and then just make a video where I play on my synths and have fun, and also talk about mental illness, my experiences with mental illness, and how marijuana has helped improve the quality of my life and my mental well-being. You'll have to forget, the sound quality today is not too good. I'm using the camera mic. I have a lavalier mic, but for some reason I can't get it working today. But I'm going to go on ahead with this microphone on the camera, because Gummy voice will not be contained. And so why am I making these videos now in 2020? A few years... Oh, by the way, this video is going to have a longer introduction than most, because it's the first official one of this series. I did some prototyping back, if you look back on my YouTubes, saying, oh yeah, why am I making these videos? A couple of years ago, I was approached by a documentary filmmaker, and she was planning to do a documentary on artists and living with crippling mental illness problems, mental disorders, mental health issues, and how they deal with that, how they get through life with this. And she had asked me if I would consider sharing my experiences in this documentary to raise awareness of mental health issues and help maybe, right? and I was thrilled to be part of that. That's awesome, right? 2 years ago, I had a lot to say about mental health, because I suffered a complete mental collapse. I was hospitalized. My life completely dissolved around me, and I lost just about everything, including my life. But I'm in a much better place now, and I've been recovering. A lot of very talented healthcare professionals have got me to where I am today, and then gummies have got me one step further. And so that's why I'm making these videos now. 2 years ago, I had a lot to say. This year is my first year using marijuana to treat my mental illness. So this was a trial by fire, because let's face it, 2020 is like the shittiest year in most of our lives. It's definitely in my top 5 for shitty piece of crap years. But even though this year is terrible, and there's a lot terrible about it, for me, being the first year that I've used marijuana to treat my mental disorder, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's comorbid with a lot of anxiety disorders and panic disorders, and I also have post-traumatic stress disorder. And I will be touching on all of that in these videos. The goal of these videos is, as a guy who never did drugs, was always trying to be the good guy. Like I took a bottle toke once in high school, and I smoked, you know, when they passed it around once in college, but it never did anything for me other than make me hungry. And I have no problem eating. I eat a lot. That's why I'm so big now. And marijuana was never really a part of my life. I never experimented with it. I have friends that do, and they use it, and they've used it to treat them. But it was illegal. It was illegal for the longest time. And I don't know why now, because I've tried it, and it's like, why the fuck was this illegal? Like, this what the hell, man? We had our heads so far up our ass on this drug. Like, on gummies, let's see, the stupidest thing I've done so far on gummies is make videos where I'm on gummies and I talk about stuff. I've done really stupid shit drunk. really, really fucking stupid shit drunk. But somehow, booze is okay in our society. But marijuana has been demonized, and it's like it's a gateway drug. Oh no, and all this crap, reefer madness shit that we're still dealing with, and having this profound effect in my life, where my mental illness is suddenly put into a whole new perspective because of marijuana. It's angered me because so many lives have been destroyed, not because of marijuana, but because we made it illegal. And so many people trying to self-medicate with this have had their lives destroyed, right? And that makes me angry. And it should. That's a righteous anger. I should get angry about that. We all should get a little angry about that. So I've decided to use the last of my internet has-been cachet to become an activist for marijuana and mental health issues and stuff like that. So I'm gonna make these videos where I jam on my synths, right, and we have a little fun, and at the end, we'll still try to have fun, but at the end of our fun with the synthesizers, because oh my god, I thought I loved synthesizers before gummies, but oh my god, when you got a gummy, synthesizers and cartoons are like, oh my gosh, like, man, we need a cartoon about synthesizers, right? I'm babbling now. That's one of the things gummies do, is they really, my train of thought is just, it goes everywhere, and my train of thought does that a lot anyways, but I don't beat myself up because it's doing that. That's just, my mind's doing what it's doing, and I'm concentrating on how I feel good. So anyways, the intro to this video is going to be a little longer than the other ones. I did an experiment the other day using the Commodore 64 and this TV to be a green screen, because while I'm doing this talking part, I might want to put a graphic here, right? And I was like, my studio's so full of stuff that it's hard to figure out, well, where would I set up a green screen? And then the lighting for a green screen is always tricky and stuff like this. And Gummy Voice doesn't care about the technical aspects of this. It's just like, well, just get something that works, right? And this works. It's not perfect. I never use this for like a movie shoot or something like that. But I'm not doing a movie shoot, am I? This is nothing professional at all. This is just me finding a way to share something that's very meaningful to me. I want to testify about how mental illness has affected my life, and how therapy has helped me so much in the years in putting my life back together, and how in just 1 year marijuana has boom my mind. It's changed the way I think. It has. There's this new guy in my head called Gummy Voice, right? It's basically people, the way they process thoughts are different. I process thoughts through an internal monologue. So it's like, if I had something I wanted to do, I argue back and forth in my mind about how would I do it. Well, should I do it like that? Oh no, if you do it like that, then this will happen. But I think if you do it like that, then I'm good at it. So I sort of simulate and I discuss with myself in my mind what I'm doing, everything in my life. That's how I think. what has happened, though, over the course of my lifetime is that internal monologue voice that I used to use to help me understand things and come to decisions, that internal monologue voice has become a bully, and it abuses me. And Gummy voice that's there after I take a gummy doesn't put up with that shit, right? The Gummy voice, and I want to be clear that I have obsessive compulsive disorder, not schizophrenia. These aren't hallucinations, right? I mean, I anthropomorphize these voices a bit. I have an idea of, you know, there's a visual to these voices and stuff, but it's not a hallucination. This is all coming from my own mind. It's just how I do my thinking. It's just how my thinking works. A Gummy voice is a totally different voice than my non-Gummy voice. A Gummy voice is what my voice was before mental illness started turning my internal dialogue into a monster. And some of the subjects I breach in these videos, I'm going to be talking about post-traumatic stress disorder and mental illness and having a mental breakdown and recovery. And I recognize that for people who care about me, family and friends who watch my YouTube stuff and on Facebook and whatnot, it might be hard to listen to some of the things I'm going to cover over these videos, because nobody likes to see somebody they love suffer, and nobody you know, wants to see somebody that they care about going through hard times, right? And so when I talk about the trauma in my life and my mental illness, it might be hard to hear at times, some of the stuff I have to say. It's not because events in my life have contributed to my mental illness. My mental illness is just a matter of neurodiversity. I mean, I grew up with a great and loving family that I am still very much in love with and close to, and it kills me that I can't visit them this year because of fucking 2020. Yeah, you know, it'd be easy to, you know, oh, my dad was an alcoholic, he used to beat me with a 2x4 every day, or my mom was cold and distant and never hugged me once. You know, it'd be easy to do that, right? Like, you know. But what do you do when nobody's beating you? When nobody's cold and distant? What do you do when your life is, by every metric, fucking fantastic, right? I always had a full belly. I grew up with a lot of privilege, and privilege has been demonized. All privilege means it's a secular word for blessing. If you're a spiritual person, you have blessings, right? You were blessed to be born where you were, born into your station. You were blessed to have good friends. You were blessed. Privilege just means blessing. It's just a secular way of saying, I am blessed. When you've got these blessings, your motivation should be to share the wealth, right? Share what you've been given to help others, right? Right? That's my opinion on that. Now, where was I? Okay, so I'm making these videos because that documentary I was talking about before never got made, and I was kind of disappointed by that. But because I feel I have a lot to share, and it might help someone, and that's all that matters. Gummy Voice basically said, well, you don't need someone else to make a documentary about your life. You can do it. But regular voice in my head is like, oh, okay, first of all, you know, there's so much work that goes into that, and you're gonna lose interest, you're gonna burn out, just like you did before, and you're gonna crash, and you'll end up in the hospital again, you'll destroy your life, and you'll lose everything again, and so don't do it. That's stupid. But Gummy Voice is like, look, yeah, there's gonna be work to it, but try to make the work fun, right? And try to simplify things. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, Gummy Voice. That's right. Why am I beating myself up over production values of a shitty YouTube video, right? Is it professional? Fuck no. Will it do the job? Fuck yeah. And so I'm going to make these videos, and this is going to be the format. There's going to be a little introduction, like this. This one's going to be long because it's the first one, so I gotta put a lot of stuff out there. It's going to be a little introduction, and then I'm going to go to my synths, and we're going to just jam, have fun, right? Just like I do with my friends, because that's part of the other reason why Gummy Voice said, just make it fun. Do something you love doing anyways, right? And just do it on the video. And I love playing with synthesizer, especially with a Gummy. And I have a privilege of having so many talented friends. I live in a city that is one of the best incubators of talent. And I have so many talented friends. And I work with them on their projects, and they work with me on mine. And one of the wonderful things musicians do is jam. And it's totally self-indulgent, but it is fun. And we'll just get together, and you're not even worried about wrong notes or wonky progressions or any of that stuff, right? You're with a group of friends, and you're just jamming, right? And I miss that. In 2020, I miss having my friends to jam with. So then I thought, hey, do the jamming here, and anyone on the internet who can jam along with you, jamming here, right? So I thought, okay, this will be the format I use. So I do the introduction first, and then I go to the synths, and I'll record a part that's just a jam, right? It's just going to be me doing a jam. That'll be track 1. And I got 2 stereo tracks and 2 mono tracks. I'm not going to do any ping-ponging because that's a little too complex for Gummy Voice. He's a great guy to hang around with, but he loses a lot of the tech savvy that Normal Voice has. But he's not an asshole like Normal Voice. And so I'll do the recording. I'll put 1 track up that's just the first jam, right? And so that way it's not too thick, not too layered, and it'll leave room for other people to jam over top of it. My friends that are also wanting to jam and can't. And then if I feel it needs more, I'll do another. I'll add some more, and then I'll put my final mix up that Gummy Voice has put together. So that's going to be the format of these videos. Now about license and shit like that. These videos, I am saying right now, on camera, on record, even though I posted it before, these videos, I consider them public domain. I'm putting them in the public domain. So if you want to take any part of this video and use it, you go ahead and use it. My hope is you will use these videos to increase the amount of good in the world. You will put out positive stuff with these videos that will increase the overall level of good in the world. But these are public domain, so really you can use them for whatever you want. But this is my gift, that Gummy Voice's gift, basically. He's gifted me with a new perspective, and I want to share that with people because it might help someone out there. And if nothing else, it might help demystify and destigmatize both mental health and marijuana. Because we need a lot more research into this, let me tell you. Now, disclaimer, as opposed to dat-claimer. See, Gummy Voice is master of dad jokes. I am not a mental health professional. I am only sharing with you my experience. So please do not consider me telling you, I'm not giving you advice on things. I'm just sharing what my experience with medicinal marijuana is, and how it has helped my life. So talk with your therapist if you're lucky enough to be in therapy. Talk with your therapist before trying anything, right? Talk with your doctor, your healthcare provider, whoever you talk with about mental illness. Because one of the things my therapist told me years ago, Canada went through this sort of phase thing, like it was legal medicinally, but not recreationally. And then it got legalized recreationally. When it was only medicinally legal, my therapist suggested we might want to try this. Because for some people with OCD, they have remarkable progress with marijuana. Other people with OCD, it's the opposite. It makes it way worse. So that is why you should really talk to your medical professional. Make sure you do things right. Don't just take some advice from some stoned guy on the YouTubes and say, yo, yeah, that sounds good for me. So speaking of privilege, I want to thank my lover man for giving me the courage to do this. My boyfriend John, he bought me a stool today because I needed a stool to do the TV, the Commodore 64 thing, right? And he suggested, because Gummy Voice doesn't remember too well, and he found this book in the dollar store. And let me show you the book. I love this book. It's cute. It says, oh, you won't be able to read that, I don't think. It says, ridiculously good ideas. So when I'm doing stuff with this, Gummy Voice sometimes loses track of what he's doing, and I can't remember where I am. So just write little notes to myself when I'm something I want to remember and stuff like that, right? So while I'm working, I make little notes and stuff like this, which is literally what I do when I work on any project, right? I have notebooks all over my studio from different projects, because every time I start a project, I get a notebook to keep my notes in for that project. If it's a play, if it's a song I'm working on, if it's anything, right? I get a notebook to keep notes in. And I was a little distressed because Gummy Voice doesn't remember things. I'm like, how am I going to remember things? And so regular voice in my head is like, oh, you see, this is why it's a stupid idea. You're just going to babble incoherently. And Gummy Voice is like, well, just do what you do when you're not doing a gummy. Get a book to remind you of shit. Okay, so that's enough. That was a really long intro. Oh, and also, there's not going to be a schedule for this. I'm going to do it as my time and mental health allow me to do it. I'm not going to pressure myself to produce to a schedule. I don't need to do that. I don't need to. I can just have some fun, right? So let's have fun with the synthesizers, and I'll come back at the end and I'll go into an introduction of who I am at the end. That's what today's end topic thingy is going to be. I'm just going to talk a bit about who I am, because there's going to be some people finding this video who don't know me as the internet pioneering has-been that I am. And so I will have to remind the world that I exist still. And so that's what's, tune in at the end of the jam, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Anyways, let's get to the table.